This here is a recap for Aapl from May 18th. This is the trade that I ended up taking on the open. My plan, as it was mapped out, didn't void or anything. It just was a gap and go type of setup. Did not expect such a huge gap off of the open there, but once price did reclaim this VWAP on a decent amount of strength there, went ahead and took a position versus the low. Trailed me out once it could not hold above this previous point up here, about 152.5. Ended up being a decent trade. Didn't chase it anymore throughout the day. There were quite a few opportunities to do so. I didn't want to risk anything that I had already made on that initial trade. So now going forward, we have an inside day. Inside day after a huge sell-off. Tomorrow will tell us whether or not we have more selling pressure to go, or if the bears basically just had a one and done type of day. Now, what I mean by that is this huge sell-off should have had some profit takers at 150. It's a nice round number. Would have made the most sense to have that as a profit target, as well as support, and dip buyers would have been looking there as simply a technical level to trade off of. That's what led to yesterday's price action. Tremendous volume here as it touched. A couple of touches down here again, and a false breakdown into the close. Now, this false breakdown was people probably, not necessarily people, but traders trying to chase this move down, hoping for a gap below this level today, which did not happen. Market makers saw their stops a little bit higher, gapped it up, and forced them to have to close. Now that we are where we are today, the question is, going forward, which way is momentum going? Is it going to put in another inside day here? Because this is still a fairly wide range bar, 153.20 to 151. So over a $2 move in a stock on Aapl is still considerable. So could get another inside day here. It is pinched between two significant moving averages, the 8-period exponential at 152.70 and the 21-period exponential at 149.76, which will likely be closer to 150 tomorrow on the open. And we'll probably keep pulling up with price unless we get another significant sell-off. Now, it is a Friday, so there's going to be some uncertainties going into a weekend. Some people may not want to hold a position. So if it does sell off, I expect there to be more support down here around 150. So that's going to be my initial thesis going forward. Is any kind of touchdown there around 150, I'm going to be watching for a confirmation. My confirmations are a green over green candle. Simple as that, versus the low of that previous candle. Now, if that triggers in, I would like to try and hold it up to a gap fill, which should be up here around 155. Any kind of trades I'm taking on this is ultimately going to be looking for a move up to that level. And it does seem kind of optimistic and maybe a little far-fetched, but if this does trap some bears in there and there is still bullish strength for Aapl, it will break over here and force anyone who's left from this move, any bears anyways left from this move, that they will have to cover, because it likely means we're going to go and test highs again. The last time we tested the 21-period exponential was down here. We made 1 pullback, 2 pullback, 3 stronger pullback, and 4 new highs off of the 21-period exponential. So with that in mind, can assume that there is still a significant amount of strength held in these moving averages, unless this does break down and hold below the low of this huge red candle here. With that in mind, there's also one other setup that I will be looking for, which is essentially a breakout of this range towards the end of the day. We had basically a wedge form there towards throughout the whole day, actually. So that gives me a couple of levels to potentially trade against. If there are any bears that are going to be trying to chase, if they enter here, their targets will either be 151.5 or 150. So either one of those levels would also be considered support in my eyes. So I'll throw a line on there just so that I know that it's there. But the breakout trade I'll be looking at for the open is going to be a long over 153.6, and stop will be just below it. As a breakout trade, I want to have it as close as possible, because if it comes back below, it's not a true breakout, and I'll have to wait for a support entry. That's going to be my trade plan going forward for tomorrow. We'll see what can happen.